friends, how's it going? Welcome to a very different background. We've got all sorts of amiibos in the background because I'm going to be opening this Charizard amiibo finally. I really wanted to review and open one, but I didn't really want to open the one that I got on May 29th, which is this one that is still sealed. But now that they have a restock at GameStop and this box was a little messed up, I decided I might as well open this one and review it for you guys. So the first thing I want to go over is just a little bit of a comparison between the two boxes. Remember that the one on the right is the older one from May 29th and the one on the left is one of the restocked ones. So it doesn't look like the placement of the figure is any different, but the back is where the differences are. So as you can tell, the one on the right only has the Wii U gamepad as the little advertisement that you can use your amiibos with, but then on the left we've got the Wii U gamepad and the new 3DS. So it's advertising both on this one since the new 3DS is, you know, it's a newer thing and they didn't print these boxes, I guess, when the new 3DS was gonna be what they wanted to advertise the most, so I thought that was interesting. Then on the side again you can tell that the placement of the figures isn't really different still, and then back to the front. So I'm gonna put this back in my collection and I'll be right back. So here's just the reprinted one again, right here, and we're just gonna crack right into it. I'm not gonna worry too much about the back because, you know, it's already kind of messed up, so might as well just dig right into it. I'm trying to not hit everything, so that's going to be a little bit of an issue. There we go. Okay, so here's Charizard. We're gonna pull him out, hopefully. Ta-da! Awesome. Alright. So he's definitely got that new amiibo smell. I love the smell of new plastic. It makes me feel really happy. So Charizard just pops right out very easily. There's the, you know, little silver bit that stops you from being able to read the amiibos through the boxes. Just thought that was an interesting thing to show in case nobody's opened an amiibo before. But here we go. Here's this Charizard. He feels very, very sturdy. I love how it feels. It's definitely a very, very nice sculpt. It's definitely also very good for, you know, kids. If you have kids, they'll be able to play with this figure because it's not, you know, super fragile or anything. So as we're doing a little 360 here, this figure is really, really well made. Like I said, it's just awesome. I love how it looks. It looks stunning. It looks exactly like the Super Smash Bros. Art in the Wii U and 3DS versions, so that makes me really happy. Some parts of him are a little bit airbrushed so that it looks like there's more of a shadow than there actually is if the figure just wasn't shaded at all, so I think that's a really neat effect that they put in. A lot of higher end figures do that, so it's really nice to see that on an amiibo too. Another thing I find really neat about this amiibo is that the flame is a little bit transparent, so that adds a really nice effect, just like the Mario from the Super Smash Bros. Series of amiibo. It definitely adds a really nice look to the amiibo and actually makes it feel a little bit like fire. Usually I'm a little bit worried about the faces of my amiibos too, but this Charizard's face looks amazing. There's nothing wrong with it. The eyes aren't, you know, looking off in different directions, and it just looks really, really good. The tongue is actually painted like a tongue, and then the rest of the mouth is a little bit darker, so it looks like it's, you know, actually a Charizard and not like, you know, some sort of sloppy painting idea here. Now you will notice on the wings a little bit of the blue shows through from the front, but I think it adds a little bit of a cool effect because in reality you'd think that Charizard's wings were a little like a membrane, you know, so it would make sense that some of the color from the front would show through, and then it's a little bit thicker on the top because, you know, that's where the bones would be theoretically. So I think that's an okay thing to have on this figure, so I'm not displeased with that at all. Now the biggest problem that I usually have with amiibos is the little clear thing that helps hold some of them up, but Charizard's isn't very, you know, obstructive, especially from the front. You can't really tell that it's, you know, there. You're paying more attention to the figure itself than the thing that's holding it up when you're just looking at it face on, so I think that's an okay thing. And then when you look at the back, of course, it's a little bit more noticeable because it has to like bulge out for the leg here, but I think overall it's not too, you know, intrusive to the design of the figure. Now like I said before, this figure is very, very solid. It doesn't feel like you can easily, you know, take off any of the parts. I mean, if you pull really hard on the hands you can probably crack them off, but otherwise, you know, the wings are pretty good. You can kind of move them, but it's that sort of plastic that if you wiggle them a little bit it won't break too much, so if your kid's like tossing this amiibo on the floor, it probably won't break after, you know, 1 or 2 times of doing that, but you probably want to tell them, hey, you probably shouldn't do that because it will break eventually. So overall, this amiibo is definitely one of my favorites that have come out. I haven't really opened many others because I do like to keep them in box. I just think it looks very cool, but since I had the opportunity to have a second Charizard, and I do collect Charizard in general anyway, I decided I might as well buy one to open and one to keep in box. It's highly detailed, it's very sturdy, and it looks just really, really cool, and it looks exactly like the art that they based it off of, so I'd say that this amiibo would be a 10 out of 10 if I was going to, you know, do a out of 10 rating scale, but it's kind of hard for me to knock anything down because it is in fact Charizard, which is my favorite Pokemon, so I'm a little bit biased. But if you're just, you know, a casual Pokemon fan and you also happen to love Nintendo and Amiibos, I would definitely recommend that you buy this Amiibo, and definitely don't pass it up if you see it on the shelves, because it's a really, really nice figure and it'll look awesome on anybody's shelf. So thank you so much for watching this little Amiibo video. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more Amiibo videos. I am planning on making Amiibo videos comparing the Super Smash Bros. And Super Mario Bros. Versions of the Yoshi and Bowser Amiibos, because I do want to open those. So be on the lookout for those in the future, and I will catch you all on the flip side.